In Ontario, a case that resonates with the stress and urgency of the stories we found in Saskatchewan and Alberta. But this one could become a catalyst for change that will open up the adoption system. Kariann Ford was placed with an Ontario family by the Toronto Children's Aid Society when she was 9 months old. It was an adoption that seemed to turn out the way they all should. And now she has a family of her own. Everything seemed perfect, except her health.
I guess the hospital's like my second home when I was younger.
Is there a time when you remember not going to hospitals and doctors?
No. No.
Kariann was once baby Brenda, born prematurely to a 17-year-old who was desperately sick during the pregnancy. But that fact, like most of her family history, went into a filing cabinet full of secrets when she went up for adoption. When she was 9 months old, Jim and Linda Gifkin adopted her and brought her home, a new sister for their son Danny. What they didn't know at the time was that they were taking home a medical enigma, Linda Gifkin.
I wanted a little girl, and we listened to what they had to say, and the only thing they did say was the grandfather had a kidney problem, but it was nothing to worry about.
Oh, they went that far? Nothing to worry about?
Yes, yes.
Everything about her seemed normal, except that she seemed to be sick a lot. Mystery ailments that would put her in the hospital. Her parents were in touch with the Children's Aid Society. Did they know of anything about her that might explain it? But they didn't learn much there. Her illnesses became worse and more frequent when she was having kids of her own. Bryce, Matthew, Christy. Increased abdominal pain seemed to start with Bryce.
Right after I had him, I had my gallbladder out, and then after that it was my appendix, and I just kept getting abdominal pain all the time. And then I had Matthew, and then it was abdominal pain again, and it was hernia surgeries. And then I had Christy, and it was her pregnancy. It was harder with her. There was something wrong with me. I knew there was something wrong with me. It was just no one could figure out what was wrong with me.
Are you having pain now?
Years of tests and surgery eventually solved the medical mystery 5 years ago. She has a chronic illness called Poly-cystic Kidney Disease, PKD, a genetic condition causing frequent infections, eventually leading to kidney failure. She'll never be free of the healthcare system. She's on a regular diet of heavy painkillers and may eventually require a kidney transplant.
I'll leave it alone.
You're wrong, I'm right.
Putting a name on the condition at least eliminated the feeling of vulnerability that comes with not knowing why you're sick a lot of the time. But PKD is a genetic ailment, so what about her children, who outwardly seemed so normal?
That. I don't. How many pockets do I have to tuck in those pants? 2. 4. I don't have any.
I can tell by the look on your face.
I can tell by the look you're making me laugh. You're I only have $5.
Okay, Matthew, the first time I've ever been wrong.
Oh, yeah.
She spent years trying to get access to her personal family health records. When she finally met her biological family, her worst anxieties resurfaced. She discovered that her birth mother had been diagnosed with PKD and would require a transplant. Her mother's brother also had it. Last year, after years on dialysis, he died from complications related to PKD at age 45.
I guess I was shocked. To hear how severe it was in the family. The Children's Aid had many chances and many opportunities to pass that information on. And I guess I was very shocked.
But it wasn't to be the biggest shock. Her file at the Toronto Children's Aid Society had details about family medical problems going back 2 generations, information that was there right from her infancy. 33 years ago, Frances Romeo was a social worker who investigated the medical history of the baby who would become Kariann Ford. Today she reviews the report she prepared for the Children's Aid Society at the time.
This is obviously a hard-to-place child, and they're anxious to get homes for kids. They want to find a home for every child if they can. And I can conceive that a worker might be reluctant to pass on all this negative stuff, but I think they should.
The negative stuff would have made Kariann harder to place in an adoption, but it might have made her life a whole lot easier.
If I were the worker, I would really hesitate and make certain that I had a family that were capable of dealing with the problems that are bound to occur in the future.
The future turned out to be a whole lot more complicated than the health of one person. By the time she solved her own medical mystery, Kariann had a family. What about them? She and her husband were almost afraid to ask, but they had to know. They got the kids tested, and when a doctor eventually called with the results, they were worse than anything she could have imagined.
She wanted to see me, and I said, can you tell me over the phone? I can't wait. I need to know now. And she said, yes, all three of them have it. It's just like my guts were pulled out. I just sat and cried all day, just thinking that I had given these kids this disease.
In the darkest moments of self-recrimination, she questions whether she should have given them lives that may well be as compromised as hers.
I love my children. I'd never give my children up for nothing. But if I had known before they were here, yes, of course you're not going to inflict your children with a disease that can kill them. Of course you're going to say no. You know, there's different options. I could have adopted, and, you know, lots of different options.
Her children have already begun what will become a long, intense involvement with the healthcare system. Christy is now 9. Today she's being checked for signs of osteoporosis. And then there's the ongoing fear of PKD-related ailments.
We go down to sick kids every year and see their kidney doctor, and the oldest boy, like, he has high blood pressure already, so he's on pills. My middle son, he shows a bit of protein in his urine, which is common for kidney disease. And my little girl, she's had to go for extra blood work and ultrasounds and things because her liver's slightly enlarged and they don't know why.
Okay, that is all there is to it, okay? I'll get you to sit.
There would be one more shock to absorb. The discovery that 18 years ago, before she had kids herself, her birth mother had tried to get the information to her that she had a potentially deadly medical condition.
I found out that my mother had been in 1983. She'd gone in and wanted me to have the information that the PKD was severe in the family, and, you know, she didn't have any more children. She couldn't because of the disease.
And she wanted to alert whoever was looking after you about this.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened?
She phoned, got an intake worker, and the same thing with the Children's Aid you hear a lot is, we'll send you out a form. And they sent her out a form. And she sent it back, and they sent her a background history on me, and that was it.
People who confront the intransigence of a bureaucracy usually come away changed by the experience, either bitter and defeated or angry and ready for a fight. Kariann Ford never considered herself to be an activist, but she also never backed away from a fight. And when she saw how her life and the lives of her children had been affected by the adoptions bureaucracy, she embarked on the fight of a lifetime. She's launched a lawsuit against the Toronto Children's Aid Society to try to get some financial security for her children, who, like her, may never be able to hold down steady jobs.
This is the equivalent of going to war. This is a big step. Why would you take such a drastic action?
Because of my children.
But it can't give them their health back.
No, it can't. But going through things that I've gone through, being denied by insurance companies for coverage for drugs and things like that. They have a pre-existing disease now. It's not fair to them if they can't work when they're 30, and why should they have to go to disability or welfare and beg the government to give them, you know, a bit of money?
Changing the culture of the adoption system ultimately may require a change in the laws that set the rules. Last week, Kariann Ford escalated her personal campaign for change and told her story to a committee of Ontario lawmakers who are considering reforms for the adoption process.
My children and myself have been so badly hurt by what the CAS has done that I felt that this was the only way that we could get any justice.
It's a private member's bill, the third of its kind in recent years, and she has no illusions about its chances of becoming law. But she has a gentle warning for the lawmakers. Her lawsuit against the Children's Aid Society might be just the first of many.
If the legislature does not make changes to open these files, then many other people may choose to seek justice in the same way as I have felt compelled to do. Unfortunately, I'm not alone. Mine is not an isolated case. Thank you for allowing me to share my story.
Jurisdictions right across Canada are struggling with the question of adoption information. The system still leans toward the traditional practice of keeping it private. But in the Northwest Territories, Nunavut, and particularly in British Columbia, the philosophy is to open things up, letting everyone involved know a lot more than has previously been possible. To learn more, head for our website. Go to cbc.ca, then look under programs, and there we are.